The birth of exchange, ancient finance. Long before coins jingled in pockets, humanity's first economy was built on a trust and barter. Farmers traded grain for livestock. Artisans exchanged tools for fabrics. But barter had flaws. One needed a coincidence of wants. You had to find someone who wanted what you had and had what you wanted. To solve this, early civilizations created commodity money. Shells, salt, beads, and even cattle became units of value. Ancient Mesopotamians used silver bars measured by weight. Egyptians tracked grain in temple records. Africans traded in cowrie shells. The Chinese experimented with bronze spade-shaped money. Here, finance was born from necessity, the need to record, exchange, and trust. The rise of coinage and empires. Around 600 BCE, the Lydians minted the world's first standardized coins. Suddenly, money became portable, divisible, and recognizable. Empires like Rome perfected this, issuing coins stamped with rulers' faces as both currency and propaganda. But coinage had limits. It was heavy, hard to transport, and subject to debasement when rulers mixed in cheaper metals to cheat. People began to ask, can money exist without the weight of metal? The invention of paper money and banking. China, Tang and Song dynasties answered with paper money in the 7th–11th centuries. Instead of carrying gold, people carried notes representing value. By the Middle Ages, merchants in Venice, Baghdad, and Florence invented letters of credit and early banking houses, creating a new layer of trust between traders. The Renaissance birthed modern finance, banks, bonds, and accounting. The Medici family in Florence pioneered double-entry bookkeeping. Governments funded wars through loans. Goldsmiths in London issued receipts for stored gold, which evolved into the first banknotes. The age of global trade and central banking. From the 1600s onward, money became truly global. The Dutch guilder, Spanish silver dollar, and later the British pound ruled trade routes. Colonial empires extracted wealth and circulated currency worldwide. In 1694, the Bank of England had emerged as the model of central banking, issuing currency, stabilizing value, and managing government debt. Over the centuries, nearly every nation created its own central bank. Yet, the system also grew rigid. Crises like the Great Depression, 1929, showed how fragile centralized finance could be. The digital shift, 20th century finance. By the mid-20th century, money went electronic. Credit cards, 1950s, ATMs, 1960s, and SWIFT banking systems, 1970s, digitized finance. When Richard Nixon ended the gold standard in 1971, money lost its physical anchor. Currencies became fiat, valuable only because governments declared it so. Globalization accelerated, but so did inequality. Banks, corporations, and governments controlled the flow of money. For many, finance felt less like freedom and more like a cage. The spark of crypto, Bitcoin's birth, 2009. In the ashes of the 2008 financial crisis, an anonymous figure named Satoshi Nakamoto released a white paper, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. For the first time in history, money existed without kings, banks, or governments. Transactions were secured by mathematics, not institutions. The blockchain, a public and immutable ledger, made trustless finance possible. Bitcoin was the rebellion, the digital descendant of every innovation before it, yet unlike anything humanity had seen. The expansion, Ethereum, DeFi, and beyond, 2015 to 2025. Ethereum introduced smart contracts, Code that executes agreements automatically. Suddenly, finance wasn't just about money, it was about programmable value. DeFi, decentralized finance, allowed lending, borrowing, and trading without banks. NFTs, non-fungible tokens, created digital ownership of art, land, and intellectual property. Stablecoins tied digital money to real-world assets, bridging traditional and blockchain finance. Crypto grew from rebellion into infrastructure, reshaping economies, industries, and even culture. The future of cryptocurrency, the new epoch, the era of global integration, 2025-2035, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, coexist with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and industry tokens. Payments shift from credit cards to wallets. Stablecoins dominate e-commerce. Tokenized assets allow farmers, artists, and entrepreneurs worldwide to raise capital instantly. Crypto becomes the default layer of finance. Invisible but everywhere. The rise of borderless societies, 2035-2050. People begin to live in digital nations, bound not by passports but by currencies and governance tokens. Cities adopt blockchain economies where taxes, healthcare, and services are automated. AI agents transact autonomously, creating an economy where machines pay machines. Here, cryptocurrency is not just money. It becomes the backbone of governance and civilization. The cosmic currency, 2050 and beyond. As humanity colonizes space, Earth's banking system cannot stretch across the stars. Cryptocurrencies, borderless, trustless, mathematical, become the first interplanetary money. Martian colonies pay Earth in crypto. Asteroid-mined resources are tokenized and traded. Crypto evolves into a universal standard of value, possibly even facilitating trade with alien civilizations if we encounter them. The eternal thread, from a barter to Bitcoin, from cowrie shells to cosmic tokens. The history of money is the history of humanity's search for trust, fairness, and freedom. Cryptocurrency is not the end of that story, it is the next chapter. And like all great chapters, it may redefine what it means to be human, to trade, to cooperate, and to dream.